Thank you, gentlemen. Chair, now recognize the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Courtney, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again to both witnesses. Secretary Austin, in your written testimony, you highlighted this month's historic gathering at Naval Base Port Loma in San Diego, where President Biden, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, and UK Prime Minister Sunak announced the optimal pathway to execute the AUKUS security agreement, which will provide Australia with a conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine capability. As you well know, the U.S. has not shared this closely guarded technology with another nation since 1958, when we did so with the British Navy. The plan is to sell at least 3 Virginia-class submarines to Australia in the early 2030s. Can you describe the strategic benefit to the U.S. of sharing these precious assets at the same time that we're building up our own undersea fleet?
Our undersea capability is one of our clear advantages that we have over any other nation in the world. And helping an ally like Australia develop a capability that can complement the capability that we and the UK bring is critical. And it will help us to deter. It will help us to achieve our objective of maintaining an open and free Indo-Pacific. And I think, the interoperability that comes along with this, I think, is also very, very powerful. So it is a generational capability that will increase our overall capability as allies by orders of magnitude.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And it's clear from your response, though, that in order for the U.S. to meet its fleet requirements and also fill Australia's looming undersea capability gap, boosting the size and productivity of our industrial base is a national security priority. Last year's omnibus invested a record $751 million into workforce development, supply chain, and facility expansion. This year, you're requesting $647 million more for those same goals. Can you speak to the need for Congress to approve this amount in order to make AUKUS work and to grow our domestic industrial base capacity in parallel? And can you also discuss the need to reform U.S. export controls to enable technology sharing, in order to make AUKUS succeed?
We clearly have to do more to expand our capability, capacity in our industrial base. It's important to us, anyway, but it's more important because of the fact that we've gone down the path of AUKUS, which we need to do. It's again a generational capability that I'm very, very happy that we have taken on. So we will continue to look to invest in our industrial base capability, and as you know, Australia is also investing in our industrial base. And I think that's the right thing to do, and I compliment them for making that tough decision.
No, you're correct. So the day after Port Loma, the Minister for Defense Industry in Australia, Pat Conroy, announced that, again, number one, they are now moving forward with $6 billion of new investment in their own industrial base, the new shipyard in Adelaide, and they are also investing $3 billion into the U.S. industrial base, which is an extraordinary statement of how serious and committed that country is, again, to make this all work. There's another issue that, again, has been sort of in the internet, atmosphere, I think somewhat aided by China, who's not very pleased about the AUKUS arrangement, claiming that this somehow is going to affect the sovereignty of Australia's Navy, that they're basically sacrificing sovereignty by going into this arrangement. Can you just clarify that, again, this is a sale, so title in the deed to the subs will be in the ownership of the Royal Australian Navy, and they, again, will operate, again, within their own sovereign authority?
I couldn't explain it any better than you just did. That's exactly right. It does not infringe on the sovereignty of Australia at all. And again, they are a great ally, and we welcome their decision to invest in this capability.
And lastly, as I mentioned, this is a submarines that will have conventional armaments, not nuclear armaments. And again, that is critical in terms of making sure that it complies with the International Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Thank you. I yield back.